guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Before we talk about Fire Knight, top 15 champions for Fire Knight Dungeon, one of the trickier dungeons out there in the game, I want to share something with you that I actually shared internally with my company this morning, and figured, hey, why not? Why not spread the love to some of you guys who need it? So I've been a long-time listener to the Tim Ferriss podcast, and he gave a TED Talk in 2017. I watched it probably like a year after it went out, and it's all about fear setting, right? So not goal setting, but fear setting, basically putting your fears on paper and then walking them through to the logical endpoint or conclusion of them. So if I don't do this, what's going to happen? What's the worst case scenario? And actually going through that cognitive process and putting it on paper. I know putting anything on paper nowadays in 2022 feels like, I don't know, at least for me, it feels like old-fashioned, but either way, guys, it made a big difference in my life. It allowed me to kind of take chances and stop being worried all the time. I'm a big worrier, unfortunately. Anyway, guys, no transition into Fire Knight Dungeon, but I was worried about Fire Knight Dungeon at once upon a time because I always was intimidated by the Fire Knight, right? And obviously, I'm kidding here.
What just happened?
Fire Knight Dungeon does have some of the best gear inside the entire game. It's probably the dungeon outside of Spider for silver farming that I farm, and I actually got a big silver farm recently. By the way, guys, do you want me to do a gear cleanse? Want me to farm a bunch of artifacts overnight and then walk you through it all? Do you guys like that? Is it lame? Is it cool? I have no idea. If you want, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it, and you guys can tell me if you like it or not. We have immunity gear, super important, especially for the arena. We have shield gear, which is really good for progression or even go second teams in the arena, tag team arena. Crit damaged gear is great to have a two-piece set on your nuker along with savage gear, which is right over there.
Hello, how are you doing today?
So Savage, Stun, and Regeneration, three of my favorite sets in the game. You can even get some kind of crazy utility out of the Frenzy set. Even the Curing set, I put Curing on Vogoth, we'll talk about in today's video, and he's an absolute monster. So Curing, I feel like ever since they gave it a buff and made it a 20% bonus heal, I feel like on really good healers like Vrask or Retro Drafts, Operdin or whatever, Clanfather, I feel like they're actually viable in a curing set now, especially if you can keep them alive otherwise, right? Just get more heals out of them, right? So anyway, Regeneration is one of my favorite sets for soloing bosses or just building a super robust kind of reviver on your team as well. So anyway, guys, Fire Knight's Castle, very important, right? Do you get the point? It's really important. There's a lot of good things there. Did any of you buy this skin? Some of you guys really were unsubscribing after I bought the Arbiter skin, so I'm kind of scared of you guys. I'm gonna lose my audience, man. I'm gonna lose you guys if I buy that skin. I half kid, but still, I don't know. I think I'm probably gonna buy it. Probably, who am I kidding, right? I haven't yet though. I've been able to resist the temptation. There's only a couple days left.
Just do it. Make your dreams come true.
Let's start with the rares this time. We're going to do 5 rares, 5 epics, and 5 legendaries. So let's start with the most obvious choice. I tried to pick champions that you probably haven't heard of every single one of them. You probably don't have every single one of them, even the rares, but they have really good utility. They're my favorites. So Coulthart obviously is the queen of Fire Knight. She is the best Fire Knight champion in the game, maybe a two-way tie with one epic that's going to be on the list, but a 4-time hitter on the A1 with heal reduction. You can't ask for anything more against the Fire Knight. And the A2, fully decreasing the target's turn meter. I mean, are you kidding me? Even using this on stages 21 to 25 is going to be absolutely fantastic. Side note, guys, because stage 25 is Spirit Affinity, I didn't include any Force Affinity champions, I don't think, on this list, but I'll mention them as we kind of go through the rarities if I can think of any along the way, okay? I know most of you probably aren't at Fire Knight 25, but eventually you will be, so I wanted this list to kind of reflect that. So Coulthart, yeah, I mean, Heartseeker is one of the best abilities against the Fire Knight in the game, and we're looking for a lot of hits on our A1s on all the champions on this list. I think almost every champion has at least 2 hits. Most of them will have 3 hits on their A1. Apothecary is an example of 3 times at random on his A1. He has a 2-turn single target heal, which is great to kind of spot heal because the Fire Knight does a lot of damage, right, when that shield comes down. We get increased speed and turn meter. Fire Knight's all about speed, right? So we want multiple hitters on our A1. And keep in mind, guys, on 3 or more hits on an A1 of any character, we want to go with Giant Slayer Mastery instead of War Master, so you can get extra damage there as well. But, it's all about turn meter. It's all about decreased speed, increased speed, multiple hits on the A1, right? That's what the Fire Knight is all about. It's a control fight versus other fights where it's just sheer damage, like the dragon, for example, okay? And by the way, let me know if you guys want me to do another one of these on Ice Golem. He also has defense. You can use him as your defensive lead with 21% in dungeons, which obviously the Fire Knight is. All right, let's go to one that is a little bit less obvious here. I'll give a shout out to Coffin Smasher. He's not my guy, but he does have a triple hitter on his A1. A little damage mitigation as well, right? He has the damage mitigation on his passive, correct? Yeah, 5%, but we'll take it, right? Because it is an AoE attack, obviously. Anyway, that's not the champion we're going to talk about. It's actually Crimson Slayer. So Crimson Slayer is pretty good. 3-time hitter on the A1, right? On the A2, we have a 1-hitter, but then we have a 100% chance to win both, to decreasing the target's turn meter by 50%. And again, we just mentioned it. Control is the name of the game. So we have a triple hitter and a deplete turn meter on the A2 ability. Then we have heal reduction on an AoE as well, albeit the weak version, but still, really solid kit. And you can use her especially in progression, right? Like a lot of these rares. Well, I guess Crimson Slayer was the first one. All of these other champions you can pretty much use even in level 25 dungeons, right? Let's go to one of the starters. One of the best starters in the game is going to be Aethel. I guess all starters are pretty solid, but personally, I like Kayle and Aethel as my two faves. We have a triple hitter with the big version of Weaken. Triple hitter on the A1 with a big version of Weaken at 100% land rate, man. That A1 is just nasty. And then we have an AoE, and then we have an extra turn in self-buffing in her kit as well. So Aethel is really, really good. Obviously, exceptionally good against the Fire Knight. And then the last one is going to be, for rares, is going to be none other than my campaign farmer, Fellhound. Fellhound's incredible, guys. Has an AoE on the A1, which makes him a great campaign farmer. He actually does not have multiple hits in his kit, but that's okay because we have Reflect. So decreased speed, weak version, but we'll take it. Decreased speed, very important against the Fire Knight. Then we have heal and reflect damage. Now the reason Fellhound's on the list is because this is on a 2-turn cooldown, and it lasts for 2 turns too. So if you build your Fellhound fast enough, you can have reflect damage up all the time. And it's not about the damage, it's about actually getting those counts towards the shield of the Fire Knight and get that removed in no time with a champion like Fellhound on your team. So Fellhound, very, very good. He also has block damage on an ally for 1 turn. Again, help, you know, if you don't have a good healing, good shields on your team, whatever, good sustainability, he can help keep your weakest allies alive with that ability. All right, let's move on to the epics here, guys. And let's again kind of start with the obvious. We alluded to her earlier. Earlier.
I feel a little bit cheated here. I feel sad.
So Allure is really 1A, 1B with Koltar, right? On the A3, she has a triple hitter, decreased target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit. We're even using her against stage 20, against Force Affinity, because she's that good. One of the best control champions inside the entire game. And hey, it's pretty cool that the best rare and the best epic, or the 2 best champions, excuse me, for the Fire Knight overall, in my opinion, are a rare and an epic and not legendaries. You can't say that about many other dungeons in the game. So Allure, you just want her hammering, again, that A1 once she gets to the Fire Knight. All right, next up is going to be Fenshi. Fenshi is a new Shadowkin champion, new-ish, I should say. Pretty cool champion. Has a triple hitter on his A1 with a 40% chance on each hit to place the big version of decreased speed. This is a really, really good A1 ability. Just, you love to see it, right? That's going to be a consistent decreased speed on a triple hitter all the time up against the Fire Knight, and then it keeps getting better here. On a 2-turn cooldown, a triple hitter with turn meter reduction as well. So 75% chance of decreasing target's turn meter by 15% on each hit. Fenshi's really, really, I'm going to do a guide on Fenshi, man. I'm just going to do it. We also have poison, ignoring defense for each, hit with poison on the target. Fenshi's really, really cool. And Fenshi, even, I said no force. Well, I lied. There's 1 force affinity champion, right? Even against Spirit Affinity, I'm still going to use Fenshi because his kit is just made. It's made for Fire Knight, guys. All right, next up is going to be Deke. He is just an S tier champion overall, but especially against the Fire Knight. Has a 2-time hitter on his A1, has an AoE decreased defense. He can be your debuffer, obviously, but then he has time compression, fills turn meter, and reduces the turn meter of the enemy, and then grants an extra turn so he can keep coming in with decreased defense and more double hits on his A1 ability. This dude is a boss, and you can also use him as your speed lead for the aura, 19% in all battles. Deke is tremendous, especially for the Fire Knight. Next up, I actually included 2 debuffers on the list today because Stag Knight for me is, again, right up there with Deke and Armstrong in terms of the best debuffers you can find. For the Fire Knight, he has a double hit with, again, decreased speed on the A1. That's going to have a 50% chance at landing on each of the 2 hits. So tremendous ability here. Again, I really look for the decreased speed at a dependable rate of landing on A1s. If I can get it on another champion who provides other utility, in this case, it's Stag Knight. Decrease defense and decrease attack. It is a 95% land rate, so you want to make sure you pick up the Sniper Mastery on Stag Knight. He also has that cool passive, the first champion in the game, to get increased accuracy in his kit at all, right? So it's a pretty cool passive to have. Not a game changer, but it's nice. It's nice, right? All right, the last epic is going to be, and I just realized that every single time I talk about Stag Knight, it must be, what, 20 videos now here on the channel? Every time I'm like, the first champion added to the game to have increased that. Okay, we get it, Ash. We get it, bro. We get it. I just don't know how many of you guys are new viewers. Like, how many people are watching me for the first time right now versus how many of you have heard me say that about Stag Knight 150 times? I have no idea. Vogoth. So Vogoth, man, he's a boss player, dude. This guy's a triple hitter on his A1. Increasing durations of random debuffs, sure, why not, right? But a triple hitter nonetheless. He can help you with provokes getting through the waves. And then he's just the best healer out there, man. He can absorb, or when he's attacked, he's going to heal everybody by 50% of the damage received. 25% against bosses, but still a 25% heal of all that damage is going to be tremendous. And he also is going to be placing a leech on the attacker for 2 turns, which is just fantastic. I think that Vogoth is just really one of the best epic champions in the game, like in the short list, probably top 5 epic in my opinion, just of how good he is everywhere in the game. He also has accuracy in all battles if you're looking for an aura there. So those are my epic choices: Allure, Fenshi, Stag Knight, Vogoth, and Deke Armstrong. Now let's talk about the legendaries. So I tried not to pick all voids, but there are a couple or a few. Then Blind Seer is my favorite reviver for Fire Knight. Blind Seer doesn't get the credit that she deserves. Really, really cool champion. She also has a triple hitter on her A1 and decreasing turn meter on the A1. So that's really, really nice to have on that A1. Once you get that shield down, just like Allure, she's going to come in there on each hit, having a 40% chance of decreasing turn meter by 15%. She also has block debuffs and a shield in her kit, and she's a great reviver. Again, my favorite reviver. Arbiter is really good as well for Fire Knight, but I think the Blind Seer, I mean, she ought to be really good because she's a Void Legendary, but I think she is like the best of the best. In terms of revivers, we have a 34% defense in all battles too. What a tremendous aura to have on your squad if you're, having trouble staying alive. Let's talk about the other Void Legendary. And this dude is, he's a monster, man. He is a monster, and it's Nekret the Great. Nekret is, man, he's got a triple hitter on his A1. He can protect your team like no other. Ally Protect's coming everywhere from this dude, right? It starts on his passive. He has block, debuff, strengthen, ally protect for 6 turns, and then he has ally protect and block, debuffs, and strengthen in his kit as well. And then he has ally attack, which obviously is great against the Fire Knight because all of those A1s joining in with the ally attack is going to chip away at that shield as well. Nekret is just one of the best champions in the game, so it's no surprise that he makes the list for Fire Knight as well. Who we got next here, Ash? We got Lysandra, the Queen of Speed. She's got speed in all battles by 24%. That's tied for the best all battle speed aura in the game. We have Exhaustion, fully depletes target's turn meter on the A2, and an increased speed, fill turn meter, decrease turn meter on the A3. Energize, just an insanely good ability, guys, and a tremendous, tremendous champion overall. Really nice base stats too. Just like Blind Seer, she's very fast at 110 plus on the speed. I believe Blind Seer was 115, I want to say. So really, really good there. Now, I could definitely put, shout out to Martyr, could definitely put Martyr on the list, but she only has a single hitter on her A1, but she does have the counterattack, right, and increased defense. Really, the 3 counterattack champions are all really solid. Skull Crusher, Martyr, but I decided to go with Valkyrie.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
Because Valkyrie has a double hitter on her A1 with turn meter reduction if the target has any buffs. But still, the double hitter on the A1 is handy to have with the shield and the counterattack. So just a lot of sustainability. That shield is really, really good for the Fire Knight because, again, he does smack really, really hard, especially as you get to, the more challenging levels of a Fire Knight dungeon. So, yeah, Valkyrie's really, really solid. Hey, one more champion, guys. Any idea who it's going to be? The difficult thing on the legendaries is, I'll just give a you know, an honorable mention or two. I told you I was going to mention the whatchamacallits, the Force Affinities. Sorry, guys. But, you know, a single target on Brachus on his A1, but he does have a 6-time hitter on his A2. Another one of my faves is just for damage dealing is Krutraxa. She has a 4-time hitter on her A1. So champions like this who just have 4 or more hits on their A1s, they're best when paired with a champion like Nekret or like Fakarin the Fat, ally attack champions, right? Cardial's another one. But I decided to go with a Knight Revenant for my last champion. That's going to be Tomb Lord. He also has a triple hitter with decreased speed. We talked about it with Stag Knight. Decreased speed on the A1 is great. And as long as the attack is critical, it's just placing it, right? So that's beautiful here. And again, he's bringing a lot more to the table than just that. He can help clear waves with the poisons. He has poisons on poisons on poisons. And then he can be your debuffer too with decreased attack and decreased defense in his kit. Guys, what do you think? Who did I miss out? Which of these 15 champions do you use the most? I love all these champions, and I love Fire Knight Dungeon. Again, let me know if you want to see a video like this on Ice Golem as well. Guys, have a great day. Check out that TED Talk. It's time. The video's over. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.